Hey everybody, Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and here's part two, and we're going to paint up that tracked vehicle. So to get started, let's get some of the basic color stuff out of the way. For example, I want to do a kind of metallic around on the body. And I'm just going to get my brush a little bit damp. I'm going to hit the base up some. I'm going to get inside that middle part of the base. Then I'm going to touch around on the body some. And I'm not putting a whole enormous amount of silly effort into this, because I don't think I ultimately want this to look like this. I think this is just kind of stuff that'll be shown through in parts of the paint job. Okay. Then the next color I'm going to use is a watered down kind of red. Reddish brown, I should say. Get a little bit more water in some of that. And touch around. I'm aiming for some of the darker spots around edges and stuff. I hit the base up with that some. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to get my favorite color in the world, pavement, and do the tracks, the treads. And I'm going to switch to a different brush for that. I'm going to use a size 3 regular brush instead of a big one. And I'm not going for a perfect paint job on here. I don't want to go over the edges at all, but I don't want to make the tracks perfectly this color. Okay. Okay, that'll work. Oh, I want to get inside I want to do the blade with this too. Kind of half-ass. Something like that. If you're a gentleman and you think it's cool to flip your hair, maybe you should be listening to Willow Smith. You gotta flip your hair. We're gonna let a lot of that kind of dry as we go on to the next area. And the next area is we kind of want the body to be a color. So since this is a scrap vehicle of some sort, I'm gonna get an orange. This is jack-o'-lantern matte acrylic. And before we get started on that, I'm going to hit this with the air gun a little bit. Whoa, holy cripes. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do my normal kind of super choppy. I'm going to get some orange. I'm going to wipe it on here, and then I'm just going to kind of pat that around out towards the edges of the plates like this. I'm not going to do that choppy kind of paint job. I'm going to just slap this around and make it orange. I have some big news I want to share, but I'm kind of holding off to find out the whole deal, but I might have some big news to share. Maybe I'll know more tomorrow. I really Appreciate everybody that watches my videos, and some of you are probably wondering why they haven't been coming out every day. But there's some stuff going on. Besides my fight with the city, which is very time consuming. Which I might be getting sued over, but that's okay. We'll figure it out when we get to it, right? No sense in getting all worked up. No sense. I'm getting all jazzed. I think jazzed kind of indicates a good thing. It would not be a jazzing, it would be an unjazzing, an anti-jazz situation. The good news is I'm not rich enough to sue me for anything of value. So probably the most you're going to get out of me is shutting me up. But bad news. Shutting up when you're a bad guy is not one of my big bangs. I'm not about that life. So if you're a bad guy and you're doing the wrong thing and I'm fighting you, chances are you're going down. If you're not going down and I'm going down yelling. Yelling and carrying on like a buffoon, as one does. That's about as exciting as I wanted to get with that. Now I'm going to get a metallic and a dry brush and do some more work. And for a dry brush, I'm just using a Dollar Tree makeup brush. And then I want to kind of hit this part down here where like that non-tracked part is. I just want to touch that metal down there a little bit. I want to do some work around the edges of my base. Nothing too drastic. Then we want to wipe almost all this off. Come around and do some edges. Hit some of the mechanical parts. We really want to hit that welded area on both sides. It looks really bad. All right, I'm going to get a light gray. Medium gray, more accurately. I'm just going to grab a tiny bit of that, just like that. I'm going to get rid of a lot of that. Just like that. And I'm going to grab the track pads with that. And then I'm just going to dab around a couple spots till the paint's gone. Okay, something like that. Now, let's make it a little interesting. Well, we'll use that to do it. Now, not everybody is a freehand artist, and I understand that, and you may or may not be. And I'm not claiming to be the best, but I do a little bit of freehand work. So what I want to do is I want to make a kind of dumb looking skull. And then on this side, I want to write punks. Because the fast punks own this vehicle. And I'm going to rinse out my brush real quick. And I'm going to hit some little spots with just metallic with no fancy. And this is gunmetal gray. This is not such a bright metallic, actually. This is the other one. And I don't need much, just a tiny dibble. Whoa, flying brushes everywhere. All right. So with this, I want to hit my studs a little bit, just so they stick out more. I want to rub it down into this welding a little bit. Any kind of rough spots where the paint looks wonky, so it can look like a repair. Drag it along the edge. Some of these things that I didn't catch well with a dry brush. And some of this little wonky sticky outy pieces left over from sprue that didn't really make a lot of sense. I'm just going to highlight those up with it to make it look like they're part of something. And there's this little panel back here. And I'm going to do that thing with it. Control panel. Okay. I just need black for the eyes and nose on that skull. And then I'm going to write fast. I'm going to color those little buttons blue. And then I just realized I didn't do the studs back here on the door, and I could probably go over the hinge and handle a little better. Something like that. There's a little weld spot right there. Let's catch the edge of that plate a little bit in a couple spots. Doesn't have to be anything drastic. Now I just realized these wheels needed painted a little bit, so I'm just gonna make the outside of those wheels with a really light touch of that silver. Like that. And I'm gonna call that a win. Maybe I'll do, since I have some silver paint left, I'll try to make these blades a little more pronounced. That's just a poker chip. I could have made a blade and that probably would have been better, but I didn't do it. There you go. So that is the tracked scrapping vehicle. I'm going to call it a futuristic tracked scrapper, according to the first video I posted yesterday for it. But miniatures still fit in it, too, pretty easily. So, anyways, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all the happy crappy. That helps the algorithm realize this channel's worth watching, or isn't worth watching, I suppose, depending. Please check the description. In the description, there will be a link to the website and the Discord, and there's also a discount code to save you 25% off your first month of Dungeon Swag Miniatures. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.